Hello and welcome to another episode of the MES tool release highlights for summer 2022. My name is Jan and I have Björn here with me from the MQC team. Hello Björn.
Hello Jan.
We are going to look into the latest release of the MES Quality Commander, MQC, and the latest version is version 6.1 with exciting new features. The first one are flexible structures for artifacts and quality. And since typical development projects are often structures in various ways. So for example, it can be structured by product architectures or by product platforms, even by roles and responsibilities. The artifact and quality model structures in MQC now also support these multiple flexible levels and are freely configurable in naming. And then you can use appropriate filtering and marking to focus on specific aspects of artifacts or quality properties. Maybe, Björn, we are going to have a closer look into that feature.
Yes, so let me share my screen that I can show you how this looks like in the tool. I hope you can see now the MQC.
Yes, I can.
What we can see here is our typical showcase project. So we have 4 artifacts, as you can see here on the left-hand side. We have a couple of quality properties defined and assessed for these artifacts. So here on the lowest level in the KPI, you can see the quality properties that we defined. And here in the main visualization, you can see a matrix where the quality for each artifact, for each quality property is visible. And as you said, Jan, now we are supporting a flexible way to define structures so that MQC allows you different views and different perspectives on things like quality properties. So as we have it here, we have currently grouped our quality properties according to things like completeness and correctness. But what is now also possible is to define other or use other grouping criteria. For instance, group it according to quality assurance methods and then work products, or even to use a quality type, namely product quality and process quality, to sort the things into these groups. So, and if we check here, we have everything that is related to the process. For instance, some progress stuff that is sorted into the process quality on one hand, and on the other hand, we have things like compliance. So if you have, for instance, some test sequences, are they what is the quality of your executed test sequences? And by this, you can easily check how good is my process performing for my product, and on the other hand, compare this with the product quality.
Very nice. So these are some examples, of course, as we said, or as you also said, that this is freely configurable. And the purpose is that, as I mentioned before, projects or the data, the large data in projects can be grouped in several ways. And there can be several ways on how to look on the quality data. And now every customer can configure any kind of view that they would like to have, or that they want to look at quality here freely in MQC. But the examples that you showed us, of course, make a lot of sense as examples on what you could do with this feature.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Well, thank you very much for this overview here. And let me just look into the next feature. And that is a selectable scope for the visual quality assessment. So there are several ways on what data should be part of the quality assessment, so to say, the scope. And we have the absolute quality, available quality, and relative quality. And Björn, maybe you can show us a little bit more what kind of data, what kind of quality data is part of which quality scope, and how to select for what purpose in the tool.
Yeah, I also think that it's better to directly see this in the tool itself rather than explaining it here. So I will share again, and you will again see the quality commander itself. The absolute quality is everything that you expect to be there in your project. So that means all the quality properties defined for each and every artifact will be put together, and all them together assessed define then the overall quality of your project. Now imagine that you are in a very early phase of your project. That means, for instance, at that point in time where you have a couple of things already done, but for some other parts you have not yet even started. These are the gray rows here in the main visualization. That means you have an artifact where no results are available at that point in time. So nevertheless, it is taken into account when you assess the overall quality of your project, which is completely correct and right, which leads to then an overall quality of 45% for your project. But if you are interested not in the overall quality, but just in parts of your project, so just looking at what is the quality of the currently available stuff, then we allow now to change the scope of quality assessment on our pages to the things you would like to see. So here you can just see the quality that is calculated based on the available stuff, namely the two artifacts that we have seen before. And it's important to know that this is not the overall project quality, but just the quality now for the available parts. So this is about available quality. And if we then check a later point in time in your project, for instance, I will select this revision in the distribution chart, then you can see that now, meanwhile, everything is available and you have at least started all your tasks. But for sure, there may be, you may want to see not the overall quality, but a quality compared against targets. That means at this point in time, just to give you an example, you are not expecting, for instance, the coverages to be 100%. So it's maybe rather something like 60 or 80%, depends on the point in time you are. And then the quality compared against targets, which is again not the absolute quality of your project, can also be shown here. And indeed, this at the end is the progress the progress of your project compared to the planned progress. Yeah, so now you're also able to change the visualizations to show you these two different kinds of, or different scopes of quality assessment also on the main visualizations.
All right. Well, just to wrap it up, so we have the absolute quality as you showed before, and this just takes into account all quality data for the whole project, whether the data is there or not. If it's not there, it's bad quality.
Exactly.
If it's there, it will calculate it according to the quality model. And then you have the possibility to restrict the scope to only the available quality, which means that only quality data that is actually there is part of the assessment, which usually helps you to focus on the things that you have done so far and see how well you've done these parts. And then you have the target quality or relative quality, And that goes together with target values. So in case you were just expecting to do 50% of your quality goal, if you achieve this 50%, then you are green here because this is the only thing that you wanted to do at that part. So as you already mentioned, you understand how well your progress is in terms or in comparison to the planned progress. And these are the use cases for restricting the scope of quality.
Exactly.
Right. Well, thank you very much for this insight here and the nice overview. And to each of you who have been listening, you're most welcome to check out the new features in MQC by contacting us for the latest release or for a demo of the tool. And Björn, thank you very much for joining me today, and see you soon for the next release.
You're welcome. See you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.